everybody. I got a fun story for you for this Monday. Oh, I had it upside down. This story is called Skippyjon Jones. So we're going to learn all about Skippyjon Jones. It's by Judy Schachner. So here's our story. Remember, this is the front cover of the book, and this is the back cover of the book. When you open the story, you will always see a title page. On the title page, it tells you the name of the story and who wrote it. It also tells you who made the story or the publisher. So this is Skippyjon Jones. Every morning, Skippyjon Jones woke up with the birds. And this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. "No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds," she scolded, "or ate worms, or flew, or did its laundry in Mrs. Dohiggy's bird bath." The lecture went on and on as usual. "You have got to do some serious thinking before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother. Just what it means to be a cat, not a bird, not a mouse or a grouse, not a moose or a goose, or a rat or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. "And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bathroom door. But once he was alone, Skippyjon Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times and land on my head." On his way down to earth from the gigantic big bounce, Skippyjon Jones shot past himself in the bedroom mirror. "Holy guacamole!" exclaimed Skippyjon Jones. "What was that?" So up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippyjon Jones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed into his mouse, Skippyjon Jones began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Skippito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. My names are a meow. I am sweet like jello. I get the job done. Yes, indeedo." Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jillyboo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippyjon come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippyjon wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a misterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the desert. "Ay, caramba! Who goes there?" asked Skippyjon Jones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I am El Skipito, the world's greatest sword fighter," said Skippyjon Jones. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. "Why the mosquito, dude?" asked Poquito Tito. "I'll go incognito," said Skippito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pepito. "Sí, I love mice and beans," said Skippito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." Leaning toward Don Diego, El Skipito half sneezed, half spoke, and the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large car. "Achoo Pichu!" "Bless you," said Don Diego. "Gracias," said Skippito. "Then it's true," decreed Don Diego. "Yip! Yippee yippito! It's the end of Alfred Bazito!" Skippyjo is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad Bumblito. Then all of the chimichangos went crazy loco. First, they had a fiesta. Then they took a siesta. But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the gray Bumblebito for Skippyjo to see. A hush drew over the chimichangos, so great that no one could hear a whisker drop. Alfredo Bozito, whispered the crowd, El Blimpo, Bumblebito Bandito. Sí, said Poquito Tequito. El bandito steals our frijoles, not your beans, cried Skippyjo, outraged. See, Poquito continued. Red beans, black beans, Boston baked and blue, cocoa, coffee, and kidney beans, pinto and jelly too. And now he comes for us, Poquito added. ¿Por qué? Asked Skippyjo. Because we are full of beans too. Then Don Diego stood tall and his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? Asked Skippyjo. The dude just wants his beans back, said Poquito Tito. And are you the dog for the job? Me? Asked Skippyjo. Then all of the chimichangos turned towards Skippyjo, the great sword fighter. But poor Skippyjo had no time for a plan because in the blink of an eye, a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vamos, Skippyjo, or it's the bandito, Willito, they cried. Skippyjo stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like jello, and his teeth chattered like castanets. Then, in a muy soft voice, he said, My name is Skippyjo Fresquito. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Bozito flew straight for Skippyjo until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from his great sword fighter face. Jole frijoles! Cried Skippyjo as he thrust his sword in the air. Suddenly, pop, went Bandito, landing on Skippyjo's sword, and the quicker than one could say Chihuahua's cheese and crackers, every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bozito, the Bumblebito Bandito. Then all of the doggies burst into song. Yip, yippee, yippito, our hero El Skippyjo. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippyjon Jones's room that Mama Junebug Jones and all the girls had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Banguito, Crashito, Papito, Skippyjo. Just in time to see Skippyjon Jones's closet exploding. Then out flew the candy, beanbag doggies, and the kitten boy with his birthday piñata in his head. Skippyjon Jones, everyone cried. Hola, muchachas, he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippyjon and covered his head with furry purry kisses. What am I gonna do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs? She scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippyjon began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, Skippyjon Jones, called his mama. Buenas noches, mis amigos, said Skippyjon Jones. The end. Have a great Monday, everybody.